Most people are afraid of being alone, not because solitude is painful, but because solitude is revealing. When the noise disappears, when the conversations stop, when the distractions fade away, something unexpected happens. You are finally left alone with yourself. And for many people, that is the most uncomfortable experience imaginable. Modern life offers endless opportunities to avoid solitude: social media, television, podcasts, music, messages, notifications, entertainment. The moment silence appears, we often reach for something to fill it. Anything to avoid being alone with our thoughts. But what if solitude is not something to fear? What if it is one of the most valuable experiences available to a human being? Throughout history, some of the world's greatest thinkers actively sought solitude. Marcus Aurelius spent countless hours reflecting on his thoughts. Carl Jung retreated to a small stone tower where he could think and write in isolation. Many philosophers, writers, scientists, and spiritual leaders understood something that modern society often forgets. Growth requires periods of solitude, not because people are unimportant, but because self-understanding requires silence. Imagine a lake. When the water is constantly disturbed, you cannot see beneath the surface. But when the water becomes still, everything becomes visible. The human mind works in a similar way. Constant stimulation creates mental turbulence. Thoughts become scattered, attention becomes fragmented, emotions remain unexplored. But solitude creates stillness, and stillness reveals what has always been there. This is one reason solitude can feel uncomfortable. Many people discover emotions they have been avoiding: unresolved fears, hidden insecurities, old regrets, painful memories. These experiences were always present. Distraction merely kept them hidden. Carl Jung believed that self-knowledge requires confronting the unconscious, and solitude often becomes the doorway to that encounter. Without distraction, the unconscious begins to speak, not through words, but through emotions, dreams, reflections, patterns, insights. The very things we often ignore when life becomes too busy. Unfortunately, many people mistake loneliness for solitude. The two are not the same. Loneliness is the pain of feeling disconnected. Solitude is the choice to spend time with yourself. A person can feel lonely in a crowded room and perfectly content while sitting alone. The difference is not physical isolation. The difference is the quality of the relationship you have with yourself. People who enjoy solitude have often learned something important. Their own company is enough. Not forever, not all the time, but enough. They no longer need constant distraction to feel okay. This creates a powerful form of freedom, because dependence on external stimulation gradually decreases. Many people fear being alone because they have never learned how to be alone. They immediately reach for a phone, a screen, a conversation, something to occupy the mind. As a result, they never develop the skill of self-reflection. And solitude is a skill. Like any skill, it becomes easier with practice. At first, silence may feel strange, even uncomfortable. But over time, something changes. The mind begins to settle. Thoughts become clearer. Priorities become easier to recognize. Decisions become less confusing. The constant noise starts losing its grip. This is why many important realizations arrive during moments of solitude. Not during arguments, not during social gatherings, not during periods of constant activity, but during quiet reflection. When the mind finally has room to think. Another hidden benefit of solitude is independence. When people spend all their time seeking approval, they become vulnerable to the opinions of others. Every criticism feels devastating. Every rejection feels catastrophic. Every disagreement feels threatening. But solitude teaches a different lesson. It teaches that your value does not depend entirely on external validation, that you can exist without constant approval, that your identity is larger than other people's opinions. This realization creates emotional strength. Not arrogance, not isolation, strength. The ability to stand comfortably in your own presence. The ability to trust your own judgment. the ability to remain calm even when others disagree. The Stoics deeply understood this principle. They believed that inner peace requires developing an internal foundation, a foundation that remains stable regardless of external circumstances. Solitude helps build that foundation, because it forces you to discover who you are when nobody is watching. Who are you without applause? Who are you without attention? Who are you without validation? Who are you without distraction? These questions are uncomfortable, but they are also transformative, because the answers reveal something essential. Many people spend years constructing an identity designed for other people. An image, a performance, a role, but solitude gradually strips those layers away. What remains is something far more authentic: your real thoughts, your real values, your real priorities, your real self. This process is not always pleasant. Sometimes it exposes contradictions. Sometimes it reveals fears. Sometimes it uncovers painful truths. But truth is always more useful than illusion. And self-awareness is always more valuable than self-deception. There is another reason solitude matters. Creativity thrives in silence. Many of humanity's greatest ideas emerge during periods of reflection. Not because isolation creates genius, but because attention creates insight. And attention becomes possible when distractions are removed. The modern world constantly competes for your attention. Every company wants it. Every platform wants it. Every notification wants it. As a result, attention has become one of the most valuable resources in existence. Solitude protects that resource. It creates space for deep thinking, deep learning, deep understanding, the kind of understanding that rarely emerges in a distracted environment. Perhaps this is why solitude feels so powerful. It reconnects us with ourselves. And in a world filled with noise, that connection becomes increasingly rare. The goal is not isolation. Human beings need relationships, friendship, community, love. Connection matters. But healthy connection becomes stronger when it is balanced with healthy solitude. Because people who can enjoy their own company often bring more authenticity into their relationships. They do not connect out of desperation. They connect out of choice, and choice creates freedom. In the end, solitude is not the absence of people. It is the presence of yourself. And perhaps the reason so many people fear solitude is because they have never discovered what is waiting for them there. Not emptiness, not loneliness, but clarity. The kind of clarity that only appears when the world becomes quiet enough for you to hear your own voice. And once you learn to value that voice, solitude stops feeling like something to escape and starts feeling like something to protect.